Yeah.
All right, let's
Well,
go into
that's
the difference of let's go into the difference of serial killers and mass murderers. We talked about Charles Manson.
Yes, that, like I said, I love talking about him because then we can get into the distinction of mass murder, serial murder, and spree murder. Now,
And
mass murder is like a one off thing. It's a lot of victims in one location in about roughly the same 12 to 24-hour period, let's say. I'm kind of playing it fast and loose with that definition there, but it's always like one incident, you know?
mhm.
So, like all our school shootings, like Columbine, would be mass murder.
Yep.
But spree killings, there was like a dentist or something in Canada not too very long ago that went on basically a rampage. He posed, he dressed up like a cop, had his car looked like a cop, and went on this rampage. I think I can't remember, like killed 18 people, including himself. But it was a span of like 55 miles, but it was all the same day, you know, like the same 12-hour time span there. And he killed 18 people before he killed himself. So that's more a spree murder. Now, serial murder, you have to have more than 2, 3 victims at a time, or just in general. But there has to be like a period between each murder. Like they take time to cool off. They call it a cooling off period. So Manson to me is a mass and a spree murder because it happened the Sharon Tate murders. They call them the Tate LaBianca, but LaBianca was the next day. But the Tate murders, I'm trying to think. That was Sharon Tate, a writer friend of hers, then Abigail Folger of the coffee company. There was a hairstylist, Jay Sebring, and then a kid that just basically worked the grounds named Stephen Parent. They were all killed on August 9th, which weirdly enough is my daughter's birthday, so I find that
Huh.
odd. But the next day was where's his name? Lino LaBianca, who was a grocery store executive, and his wife Rosemary were killed the next day. Now, Manson is and his family members are suspected of up to 35 murders, but they don't have enough evidence to prove any of those.
well, yeah, and it
But
wouldn't matter
according
that
to
much now that he's dead.
but according to
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, they were stopped.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I know that
You
prosecutors wanted to charge him for up to 35, but they didn't have enough evidence to sufficiently prove it.
Yeah, because if you're accusing someone of serial killing like that, or murder of that degree, you have to have obviously beyond reasonable doubt.
Yeah, any kind of prosecutor is not going to take something to court that they think that they can't win.
Yeah, but the
Yeah,
funny thing is, he just wanted to be in prison and be an artist. He wanted to stay in prison, and they had like, no, you have to leave. Like if somebody wants to stay in prison, like it's a good idea to just let them be there, because
Manson was
they're gonna
basically institutionalized his entire life.
yeah.
I
This,
mean, at age 12, he went into like a reform school for basically homeless kids.
yeah,
yeah,
but
and
he also wanted to be he wanted to be a star also, but
life as well.
that career crashed and burned.
Yeah, I mean, he had the obsession with the Beatles and then actually stayed with one of the Beach Boys when that dude from the Beach Boys picked up 2 of the female family members of his. And he wanted to be a musician. He wanted that star. I mean,
Yeah,
whatever he wanted.
but he was just so bad.
Yeah, I mean, Paul McCartney, I think it was the lyrics to Helter Skelter. Paul McCartney was like, "Well, this is about the rise and fall of the Roman Empire," and Manson was like, "Well, no, it's actually about a race war." So
Uh,
Eh, bad take, bad
yeah,
interpretation.
and he thought he was Jesus, so add all that to the mix.
I mean, okay, like these people were on hallucinogenic drugs like constantly, like LSD, mushrooms, all sorts of stuff. And Manson wanted, like, he was very narcissistic, but at the same time he had an inferiority complex, and that's why he wanted the fame. He wanted to feel important, you know?
I mean, to be quite frank, to be honest, I mean, who wasn't on strong hallucinogens back then?
Well,
Oh, back then, I mean, you're in the age of Aquarius and, Summer of Love and all that kind of stuff, so.
well, he got his wish. His people know his name more than the Tates.
And what's funny is he never really had blood on his hands that anybody can prove.
Well, yeah, he more orchestrated it than he didn't actually participate in it.
He just sent people out to go do it for him.
So
He
technically,
should have been a politician.
yeah, so technically, he's not a mass murderer. He just had people do it for him.
Yeah, he is not the one who committed the murders at all. But he is the one directly responsible for them.
I mean, that's sort of a thing that I did notice, because I'm also a fan of the show Snap, and
Yeah.
I did notice some sort of funny some hypocrisies that do go on with the trials and courtrooms when it comes to how they treat men and female serial killer. I mean, men and female murderers differently when it comes to the cases,
Right.
because, like in Manson's case, he orders he orders these people to kill these other people, and he gets life in prison. And they originally wanted to give him the death penalty, but the laws, changed, and they wouldn't allow him to get the death penalty. So he escaped that fate, and he got sentenced to life in prison.
Yeah.
Well, I remember on Snapped, this woman, she got two men together. I don't remember her name, but she got two men together to kill her boyfriend, and she got only like 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, stuff like that. Apparently, hiring a hitman is treated differently as, like, actually brainwashing people into doing what you want them to do. And I'm like you, I don't understand that. To me, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think to a certain extent it does have to do with chivalry.
And it could be. I mean, I